In the last episode, we explored the Montana Badlands, a landscape where erosion reveals traces of dinosaurs with every storm and season. Tiny clues like turtle shell, bone fragments, and crocodile scutes showed us we're in the right place. A prehistoric river channel filled with life, death, and ancient mud. We learned why every piece matters, not just for science, but for inspiring the next generation to care about this history. But we've only scratched the surface. In episode 2, we push further up these hillsides, following the fossil trail back to its source, where bigger discoveries may be waiting just below our boots. The hunt continues.
So here's a neat bone that you picked up, Ty. What do we got?
Yeah, so this is a little metatarsal. So this, we call it dew claw. It's on the upper foot, it would have been the upper metatarsal. It looks like a little dew claw on the back of a dog's leg.
Okay.
So this is a little raptor. This might have been like a little Struthiomimus or something like that. And the way you could tell that is, see how it's hollow like a bird? These little raptors, these little carnivorous dinosaurs like that all have these hollow bones like birds do.
All theropod, all three-toed carnivorous dinosaurs, all of them, all of their bones are hollow like that. And that's one of the ways that you use to indicate what is this species and what isn't that species. Hadrosaurs and triceratops, they're all solid bone, but you get into these little carnivorous guys, they are totally hollow.
Very hollow, a little fast and light, and they're finding out more and more of them had feathers.
Yep.
So.
And the neat thing is this is, if you want to look at the sponginess of the bone, that cell structure, that's the bone marrow. That's what you want to look for, is these little holes, these little spongy marrows. It's all down in there. One of the things that we wanted to show you guys is just the difficulty that goes into finding these fossils. So, we're out here walking around and we're not really finding much today, but that's just today. Yeah. So we're going to continue this episode and we'll bring you guys back as we discover stuff, as we find stuff, and show you more of the process of how to hunt for dinosaurs. But this is just the start, guys, and it is a lot of walking.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different geological processes going on out here, and we've got one right here. What's going on?
So this is called redeposit. So what this is actually dirt that's been eroded off the mountain, filled the gully at one time, and now it's re-eroding out. It's all monotone. There's not a bunch of layering. There's no channels in it. You could find some bone chunks washing out that weathered down and got reburied, but you're not going to find a lot of good dinosaur material in it. If you look up the gully here, you can look up and see it how it abruptly changes, and you can see the layers and see the changes and see all these things, and that's the original host rock. That's the bedrock that's got the dinosaurs in it. If you look over here on the wall, you can see at the bottom, you can see that yellow is nice layered, but up above it, once again, that monotone gray. That top layer is not going to have dinosaurs. Only that bottom strip will have the dinosaurs we're looking for.
And that's because that's redeposited dirt. So look at this field out here that we're in. So we're in a gully, and what's happening is all of the silt that's coming off here is filling this up. Well, what happens in another million years? The hillside's gone, this is now the hillside, and then a channel is cut down into it, and that water has got to cut a channel deep enough to expose the original dirt and not the silt that's been put on top. So when out here looking, that's another thing to pay attention to, is your native geology. What is the landscape doing? Because these landscapes are ever changing. So you will find dinosaurs in land that has never eroded before, but in land that has eroded before, like that, like the top of there and here, you're not gonna find stuff in it.
There's wildlife you don't want to mess with.
Holy cow. What do we got going on here, Ty?
We just call them wood ants. I don't know exactly what the species is, but these ants build up, they harvest all this grass and all this debris to make their nests out of. You can see I'm pissing them off a little bit. So one thing these ants are nasty about, let's see if I can piss them off. I mean, one, they bite like crazy, but another, this is gonna be entertaining, guys. Okay, another. Let me get the ants off the end of my pick. Okay, smell the end of my pick.
What was
They
that?
have an acid that they spray as a defensive mechanism when something's attacking their nest. They will spray I think it's like a tannic acid, and it is nasty.
It is nasty.
Nasty stuff.
So is this native to the west or just
This is native to the west. I believe there's different, I mean, there's so many different species of ants out there.
Yeah.
But we see these out in the prairie like this pretty regularly.
regularly?
And you'll see these like an army ant. You'll see a trail of them headed somewhere. They pick out a bush that they want to ravage, and they'll drag everything back.
So no dinosaurs in here.
No dinosaurs in there. So something that's kind of interesting, or that you might find interesting, is obviously everybody knows that rain and snow and everything washes mountains away. But when you run across one of these little knobs like this, they always form these little basins. And what this is actually wind erosion. This is up here on top of the hill, and that wind is blowing up here hard enough and constant enough that the sand particles are abrading this hill and is blowing it away as it gets roughed up and stuff, and it blows this basin out. And then of course the water runs off because there's no plants, so it speeds up the process. But these are actually caused by wind. And one of the things you run into too is, if you look right here, we just kicked him out. Unfortunately, wasn't quick enough with the camera. As you can see where a big deer was bedded down right there in that little teeny bit of shade because there's nowhere to hide. You can see how he's tore that up, making a bed in it, and now the wind will catch all that loose dirt and blow it away.
Hey Ty,
Yeah.
noticing some crystals out here. What's going on with these crystals?
Let's see, it's probably gypsum.
There was a couple of spots where, man, they were
Yeah.
just totally thick.
Gypsum or selenite.
So is this something that you can find out here?
It is, yeah. You find it a lot of places. So it's a precipitate mineral. It means that the water that this deposit was in was salty, brackish, was like an estuary type thing that would have had a lot more salty, brackish water in it.
Okay.
So these salt and these minerals would have precipitated out in the dirt, and then they erode back out. So that what you're seeing inside those is actually the mud or moss or whatever it was that was in the ground when dinosaurs were here.
So this is a good indicator to look at and say, hey, we're near the coast.
We're close to the tidal areas, things like that. Or backwater pools are very stagnant and brackish and dry up every year and stuff. Unfortunately, it doesn't help with the dinosaur preservation. It actually hurts.
How so?
So because that sort of environment is very slow deposition, it doesn't bury them very fast, and it's more acidic, so the bones didn't preserve as well. So you don't find as many good bones where you're finding the gypsum.
So this is an indicator that, hey, this is
That
salt
layer's
water,
probably
but that
not-
layer's probably
yeah.
not have anything in it.
Now, one thing that's also not a good indicator for us finding a complete dinosaur is if you look behind us, you look all over the ground, that's all cow patties.
Yep.
Anything that comes out of the ground is totally cow stomped, obliterated before anybody even gets to see it. This mud, you can see this ground is squishy, it fluffs up. Any bones in there just get destroyed before they even hit the surface.
That's a hugely important thing to keep in mind because, these are active ranches.
Yeah.
And so, that's how the rancher makes a living, is from the buying and selling and raising of cattle. He makes an extra bit of income off of us going out here hunting fossils, but these cows will actively destroy these fossils. So I've even seen cows eat fossils before.
Yes, they will.
It's so hard to fathom, but cows will eat dinosaur fossils.
Looking for the minerals.
And that's the reason is those bones are compact. It's like a Snickers bar of minerals. And animals, including you and me, and even Ty need minerals in order to survive. So it will actually eat that bone in order to get the minerals that they need to survive. So there's a lot of things out here that are destroying these fossils. So that's why it's another good reason why we need to be out here collecting them.
So we're finding more wildlife than we are dinosaurs right this minute.
So this is turning into the Chasing History Wildlife Edition.
Mutual of Omaha Dinosaur Edition. So underneath these rocks, out here in the west, you run into these animals that are called packrats. And what they do is they gather sticks, twigs, bones. They gather up all sorts of oddball things. They'll even steal stuff from your camp and make nests. Underneath this ledge here, we could actually smell it as we came up. You can see all the sticks and cactus and stuff up underneath the edge of that ledge where it's dry right there. And there's a little packrat nest back there where he's living.
But packrats are incredibly important archaeologically speaking. So like Ty was saying, what they do is they will gather all the things from their environment. And that's still happening today. You know, people have lost sets of keys to packrats, you know, or pocket knives. If they see something, they drag it into their nest and incorporate it into their nest. Yeah. But if you go back 1,000 years, they're still gathering things from their environment. So they're gathering what's out. So if they're near a native village, they will gather pieces of corn cob or pottery or whatever. And so what happens is that packrat will urinate in its nest, and that urine will harden with the surrounding dirt and the things that it brought in, creating a mineral, with lack of a better word, called, what is it?
Ratite.
Called ratite. And what ratite is it's that dirt and branches and twigs and pee and feces that the packrats have brought in. Some of these packrats live in the same spot for literally 30,000 years. And so archaeologists have been able to, and paleontologists as well, have been able to study the environment. What kind of plant species existed here 5,000 years ago? What kind of plant species existed here during the Ice Age? Because sometimes they find those packrat nests that have these little seeds in them or blades of grass. And it's a way for us to study the environment back in history.
They picked up everything. They picked up bones, and they picked up sticks, and they picked up the plants that they brought back for their winter storage and stuff. So they get a really good cross section of everything that was out here, not just the fossil plants or the fossil bones or anything that you know from 20,000 years ago. We know what plants were here at the same time. So it really is an important resource. About the only thing that damages them is wildfires.
Yeah.
Wildfire will get into them and they will burn them up real bad.
So it's thinking outside of the box. How can we learn about our past? What other things can we do to get a snapshot into that deep history? And things like packrat nest are something that's a new development that has yielded a lot of information. I say all that because that doesn't mean that there's not other things that can be looked at in order to study and understand the environment that existed thousands of years ago. And maybe one of you guys out there who are watching will discover something that furthers our understanding. At least that's our hope here on Chasing History. So all we found is just some fossil bits. We haven't found a dinosaur yet besides the one that we found.
Except for that one right there.
Are you serious? No, are you serious?
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a dinosaur or not.
Oh,
There's pieces all over,
Yep.
pieces all over.
Yep.
But what I'm noticing is, see the notch right there? This landowner has dug dinosaurs for a long time out here. But if you look, there's bone, 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 bone. There's bone scattered all over right here.
Yeah, that's a good piece of skin right there.
So there's a possibility that there's something here. It might have been dug up already.
Yeah, he's already
See, once again,
up.
there's another piece of triceratops frill. So that's a piece of trike skull right there. But it might have been dug out already. Sorry, continue.
So anyway, you don't always find dinosaurs. But no, I mean, that's just it. It's not plop down and boom, there's your dinosaur. It's a lot of walking around. And I mean, sometimes we'll go a whole day, you know, we'll cover 5, 6, 8, 10,000 miles and we'll just find bone bits. But some days we'll go in and it's bone, 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 bone. You know, the point is that there's an incredible amount of effort that goes into doing this. And I know a lot of you guys out there want to go hunt fossils and dig fossils, and that's awesome. We need more people out there collecting this stuff. But it's not easy, and you guys have got to put in the work to go do it. And I encourage you to put in the work and go do it. Ooh,
shark vertebra.
that's cool.
So that's a big freshwater shark that was in these channels.
So how can you tell it's a vertebra?
Well,
Explain
it's
to
the
everybody.
round, the shape. I've seen a bunch of them. It should continue to be around. It's got this dish in the center. But yeah, it's just a very specific shape for that species of shark out
The
here.
key is your dish in the center so that the other bones can fit in. Those dishes here, and then this real thin edge that goes around. It would have gone all the way around, completed up, but that's really cool. Cretaceous
Cretaceous
shark
shark.
vertebrae.
Yep.
Oh, horny toad.
Horny toad.
Oh, these guys are fun. These are horny toads.
Now, horny toads, they're easy to catch. They're slow. And unfortunately, people like to catch them and try to make them into pets because they are very easy to catch and they're very cute. But what they do is they eat ants. That's the only thing horny toads eat, is they eat those ants. And that acid that Chase was smelling a minute ago, that's what keeps them horny toads alive. If they don't get that acid, they die.
That's way cool.
That's why horny toads don't make good pets.
How do you make them fall asleep? Don't you have a little trick?
Yeah. You have to be the horny toad whisperer. Oh, go to sleep. Go to sleep. Oh.
There he goes. A little sleepy horny toad.
Cute little guy.
Isn't that cool?
These guys are fun.
And see, that's another reason to get out here and hunt, because of all the different wildlife that you'll see out here. Even in the Great Plains, there's still tons of wildlife. So we'll let him go.
We finally found a dinosaur.
Yeah, there you go. There's our dinosaur. All right, mission done. Let's go. What's up, guys? I'm so sorry to stop you in the middle of an episode, but we really need your help. Chasing History is brought to you by my business, the Smoky Mountain Relic Room, which is the largest diversity of history for sale anywhere in North America. If I had my choice, I would be doing nothing but out there making documentaries for you guys to learn some cool history from. But unfortunately, we got to pay the bills. Chasing History is completely funded by Smoky Mountain Relic Room. So if you get a chance and you want to check out some cool history, go to our website, therelicroom.com. We're easy to find. If you want to check out our social media, Smoky Mountain Relic Room, you can't miss us. But if you see some stuff there that you like, man, we would love to get some cool history into your hands. But if you don't, then just pass it on and share it with somebody else. But if you want to support this channel, go to therelicroom.com or Google Smoky Mountain Relic Room. Guys, that would be epic. I love you all. Remember, guys, history rocks. Woo!
Ty and Chase return to the main dig site, rejoining the rest of the crew. Before excavation can begin, Ty carefully removes some of the dirt to create a channel for rainwater to flow and to open up more space for the team to work safely.
So when we first found this quarry, there was a bone going in somewhere out here. There was one single bone going in.
And you can see the hillside if you...
Yeah, you can see the hillside. And because of the slough and because of the weathering, it's hard to see layers. It's hard to see where stuff's actually coming from. There's tons of bone pieces, but we don't know where they're coming at. But we found one bone going in, so we decided to dig on it, and it just turned into more and more and more and more. And then as we pulled the hill back, so you can see there's multiple layers here going on. This layer with the pebbles is where we found the initial bones at. As we pulled the hill back more, we hit another layer, and there's more bones coming on. In fact, there's bunches weathered from last year. These are up in the grass, so they're a little bit tore up, but there's a bone there. There's a metatarsal going on right there. And that's a layer that we've not even tried to dig yet. That's just getting in the hill far enough that we're actually hitting that layer now.
So all these pebbles, are these river pebbles or are these nodules that have formed later?
Both. There's both in here. These red ones are mostly the iron concretion type pebbles that you're seeing that are the red and iron stuff.
But it's the evidence that you look for to see that there was an event here. The bone.
Well, you've got the big clay class again.
Yep.
I think we did a little episode on that. You can see if you look cross section in the sand, you got nice loose sand, but then you've got these hard clay blobs. And what that is a riverbank upstream somewhere caved in, and the clumps of clay rolled down just enough before they got buried. They didn't break up. So it was a fairly fast deposition. It got buried fairly quickly. We're going to find some stuff.
We're going to find some stuff. So you want to hang out for this episode and check it out, and we will bring you along the ride the entirety.
Dinosaur head by day 3.
Guaranteed, man. $1,000. There's a dinosaur. There is a dinosaur here, and we're going to dig it out.
There's more than one dinosaur here.
There's few places that you can go to and say, there's a dinosaur. There is a dinosaur. So, all right, well, let's get at it, man.
First bone of the big dig pulled out. There's actually one eye down here. We spread out on this corner here, trying to clean it up so we can get the backhoe pulled up in here. This had been weathering out over the winter. And what this is actually a jaw. This is a nice little triceratops jaw section. See the denticles that have been feeding the blood, where the blood would have been feeding the base of the teeth. It's hard to see, but you can see all the grooves there, where all the tooth grooves would have been. This will clean up nicely. There's at least 3 layers of bones we know of in here now.
That's cool. That's my first dinosaur.
It's a good one for first one.
That's all right. Good find, Isaac. So, Ty, what type of glue are you using? It looks like it's something that's specialized for this type of work.
It is. It's isoacrylic glue. It's isocyanide glue. It's we use glue called Star Bond. There's Star Bond, Paleo Bond. There's a couple other different types out there, but they're made specifically for this. And this glue is reversible, so you can soften it, loosen things up. It shears a specific way so that if you glue matrix to the bone, that you can remove the matrix from the bone and it doesn't make it permanently harden bone.
Now, we've got some bones in a row here. Now, not necessarily this is all one animal.
No, this is all sorts of mixed up stuff. An interesting thing is, so out here, Todd's at, you can see how close he was to the grass. See how all those bones are all broken up? That they're not complete. It doesn't look like they're complete. So they never even made it to the surface, and they're breaking up and walking down the hillside in pieces. You get back here where it's a little bit deeper, they're still a little bit rough, but they're getting more complete. By the time you get back in here, they get more and more. And when you get back in farther, they're better.
Not only, are the natural forces, as we just showed, destroying these fossils, but the cows get out here in these fields and stomp on them and tear them up and destroy these fossils. Like we were saying earlier, this isn't just one animal laid out here. We hope we'll get to an animal, but it's not. This is a riverbank or river bend where you have bones from many different species washing up and compacting up against the ground and getting buried up. Just because you find some bones in a row doesn't mean it's the same thing. So, Ty, once this bone's exposed like it is, what's the next step for it?
As we're working on it, we're making sure there's enough glue in it to make sure it's stable. We're going to take our knives and we're going to
Here you go.
make sure the bottom corners of vertebrae is all we want to peel off. So we're going to make sure we have it loose all the way around, like that. All right, now you can just gently flip it over onto the foil, and hopefully it all stays together.
Hot.
Okay, glue you. Sorry, have some glue on it.
Yeah.
That's the thing about this glue is that
I thought it was a good step.
reaction.
chemical reaction
Those
and
gloves,
it heats
they'll
up.
get you fast.
Yeah. Star Bond. It's
Star
a
Bond.
very powerful glue. Dinosaur glue. We do all of our fossils with this, but there's a lot of other brands out there. Paleo Bond is another great brand. Good friends of ours.
We're
trying to
looking
get
for a
sponsored.
glue sponsor.
Good sponsor. Paul.
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 We really could
Sponsor
use.
us.
We really could use this glue on a lot of it.
Free glue for sponsorship, Paul. Come on, man. Hook us up, dude. I know you'll do it. So, Ty, what's the next process here? We've got some foil out. How are you going to get this bone out and back
Okay,
to
she's
the lab?
prepped it down as far as she can. She's gotten glue in it and stabilized it and made it. Try to fix any cracks so it doesn't come apart. Now what she's going to do is we took a knife and we worked around it to make sure it's as loose as we can get it. She's just going to flip it over here on the foil. If there's anything that breaks, we try to take care of it right there at that time. Otherwise, we'll just wrap it up and take it back to the prep lab.
So the next step after this bone leaves the field is back to your prep lab where you'll prep it up and get it prepared for whoever wants to take care of it, whether it be a museum or a private collector.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the reasons we're doing this big dig here is we're not sure what all we have. So we're going to wait to sell this material until we dig enough that we decide, okay, we don't have any animals going together. We don't have a leg that we can put together. We don't have anything important that needs to be saved and kept in one intact.
How many bones total have you pulled out of here so
There's
far?
been about 50 so far.
About 50
out of the
bones.
small,
And that's
small
why
thing.
it's important to keep them all together
Yeah,
to
just to
see.
see what we've got.
Right, if anything goes
Now, if we end up with just a bunch of loose pieces of a hadrosaur, a hadrosaur tail, the top process is weathered off of, scientifically means, I mean, National Geographic had a great article that showed where they don't even collect these anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's the cows of the Cretaceous. There's millions of them.
Right.
Now, if it had a pathology, now if we get enough of it that when we put it together, we realize that maybe it's something new, then it's important. But right now, it's probably going to be separated out into individual pieces.
And that's a really important point to get across is that, these fossils aren't rare. Fossils aren't rare. Dinosaurs are not rare. Now, there are weird species and there are weird bones with unusual pathologies and stuff. So scientifically, they're not very important. What was it? The Utah State paleontologist said that that the state of Utah will never dig another sauropod.
Yep.
The state paleontologist for the state of Utah said that Utah will never dig another sauropod. And the reason is because they have thousands of them that they've already dug. So why put the money into digging something that you already know and understand? And that's a very common misconception that the public, that you guys have, that we are trying to correct and fix, is because this stuff is common. It's just, and where you find it, there's an abundance of it, and that doesn't mean that you guys can't collect this and take care of it, because it's not going to add anything to science, and it can do a greater service being in your hands at your house, inspiring you to learn more about this era of history.
The way I look at a lot of this material is, if you go to a museum, especially like a European museum, somewhere in the museum, they're going to have some very rare ancient coins. And they're going to have a display of these few rare ancient coins that there's only a few known examples. They were specific time periods and they mean something, and they dug them on a dig. But they don't have boxes and chests and warehouses full of hammered brass Roman coins. Right. Because they're not, I don't want to say they're not important, but scientifically wise, they really don't make any difference. And it's the same thing with this stuff. The rare dinosaurs are rare and should be studied. The common stuff is just common.
How much stuff have you found that you've ensured went to a place to be studied?
There's been 3 complete animals, and there's been half a dozen bones.
See,
individual bones.
That's what's really important about these guys like Ty, is that if he finds something that is important that needs to be studied, he ensures that it goes to the place where it can be studied and appreciated and learned and understood, and papers written about it. But, stuff
80% of new species have been found by amateurs or commercial people in the last 20 years.
80%.
80% of new species in 20 years.
That's because there's no funding and there's not many people going out hunting this stuff academically.
Yeah, we're out digging it, where the academics, they don't have any money to dig this stuff. They're stuck teaching a class in school or in a lab writing a paper. They don't have the opportunity to dig.
And we're not trying to harp on the academic world. It's not at all what we're trying to do. What they do is very important, and we love and appreciate and respect what they do. There's just not enough funding for them, and there's plenty of stuff in already in their warehouses that they have to study and understand. So, no matter what, these fossils are eroding out of the ground. No matter what, they're getting destroyed every single day. If we don't collect it, just like you saw over here, if we don't collect it, nature is going to destroy it 1,000%. And right now, as I'm speaking and as you are watching this, there are literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions of fossils spread across this entire country, trillions if you spread it across the world, of fossils that are out being destroyed by nature themselves because they are not being collected. So we're out here trying to do a service and collect these fossils so that they can be appreciated by people who would like to collect them. So, yeah. All right, man. What's next?
To
Dig more dinosaurs. What kind of bone we got here? Man,
Dinosaur.
that's a huge
It's dinosaur.
limb. Is that a radius?
Yeah, it's probably a radius to a big duckbill. It's a big duckbill bone.
So how are you able to identify the species by looking at it?
Well, some of them I've worked on enough of that you recognize.
You've dug
yeah,
enough
I mean,
of them,
we've
you
dug
know.
when you spend 40 hours prepping a bone like this, you learn nuances, but there's a lot of differences, a lot of different bones. So some of these you have to look at it, go back and you compare papers that have been wrote and other pictures, and you'll compare the little trocanthers that stick off and the little bends and little curves and where things are at to identify so that they match, everything matches up and you can put it into it.
Well, that's a great bone. And again, put it in foil, take it back to the lab and prep it out.
Yep.
So Ty, what kind of a bone do we got going in here?
This is going to be a triceratops scapula, I believe. The end was weathered off once again. You're down to the grass, was all broken up here. But once you get back in, the bone's a lot better shape. And when you were digging on that, you found this is going to be a piece of a big crocodile skull. This is the super croc of the Cretaceous here that's in the Hell Creek. This is going to be a big crocodile that was eating on these dinosaurs.
What's interesting is, you wonder why this is stacked up with this. Well, that guy died and it washed up. These aren't articulated animals. The thing that you see in Jurassic Park where it's just all one dinosaur, that rarely happens. Most of it is miscellaneous bones, which is how you get two different species side by side. But you can see where the hillside, this was the natural slope of the hillside, and the bone was sticking out here and totally got weathered away. But look how good the bone quality gets the deeper in you go. But look at the roots. The roots are growing right in the middle of this bone. Why are the roots growing straight through this bone?
Well, I mean, they're looking for the nutrients. They're looking for minerals. They're looking for anything they can. I mean, this pretty poor clay soil out here, and these bones still have enough nutrient in them that there's phosphorus, potassium, something in there that them plants are really wanting, and they just tear into them. They just tear them apart.
This is like a Snickers bar for plants. And so as the roots go down, they see that there's a big block of minerals right here. So of course they go straight to the bone and straight for the minerals that are in the ground. One of the reasons why we're using this equipment and digging so deep is because we're going to get down to a depth where past where the roots can get, and the bone preservation should be incredible.
It's already just by hand when we got back into it 3 feet. The preservation's turned just spectacular on this site. So it'll definitely improve. We're just starting, just barely getting the surface peeled back on this so we can get down deep and find a lot more stuff. Take a look at Katie's bone over there.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
So once again, you can see how close we are to the surface. This end was all weathered and fragments going down the hill. So you can see how it's got these shifts and this breaks where this bone was actually coming apart and sliding down the hill before it even hit the surface.
A lot of these bones, you think that when you find them, it's just boom, there's a whole bone and it's all right there. When in reality, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about nature is trying to destroy these fossils before we ever get to it. Where the roots and the ground shifting, everything is after these bones to destroy them, like everything. And so it's a race against time. And this exact process is happening literally all over the entirety of the West. There are bones an inch below the surface that are being snacked on by plants.
In the next episode, the temperature will drop, the wind will rise, and the team will return to the hillside, digging ever deeper. More fossils lie in wait, and with them, discoveries that are as extraordinary as they are unexpected. The story beneath the slope is far from finished, and you won't want to miss what comes next.
Chase found a large pile of scat of a predatory animal. It's full of hair and bones, and he wants to bring it back to the relic room to share with you guys.
And we are going to take great care to share this piece. We're going to foil it to make sure that it doesn't fall apart. Now this
has got hair, bones. Oh, that's like a piece of hoof. I think that's a piece of hoof.
Oh man, yeah, there's
Oh, yeah,
all kinds of stuff.
oh, that's a
there.
fawn hoof. That's what that is, a little deer fawn hoof.
All right,
There you go.
spread this out.
We will make Chase wash his hands before he cooks dinner for us
Pick that
tonight.
up. There we
Oh,
go.
yeah, that is
So
quality.
we'll fold that
That
up.
is a quality scat.
Yep. And that will be in a frame in the relic room in 1 month. Guaranteed.
For your viewing pleasure.
For your viewing pleasure. And we may put a QR code on the frame and put it on the...
And you can take
And
it
then
home
you
and give
can-
it to your old lady as an anniversary gift.
That's right. We'll sell anything. That's what this is we will sell. If we think it'll sell, we will pick it up and sell it. And
Well, it's actually pretty educational.
I guarantee you. Well, you sold me owl
Pellets
and
that had a mouse in every little one.
there
you know?
was. We had owl pellet frames for a while. So,
Yeah.
hey, you know, it's education. We're
Education.
educators, Ty. That's what we're doing. That
Yep.
is going to educate
Yep.
somebody to not do the stuff we do.
Yeah.